And in some less fun news, another cast member is departing Coronation Street. And this one's kind of a sad one, simply because she's become something of a frequent leading lady on the show. And it's kind of sad, but also it kind of felt like it was naturally reaching the conclusion. A character who won Best Newcomer at the British Soap Awards in 2023. The character who is leaving is Shanique Sterling Brown, also known as Dee Dee Bailey. So, let's push on with the article. The star will be filming her final scenes as Dee Dee soon. Coronation Street star Shanique Sterling Brown is set to exit the soap after 3 years as Dee Dee Bailey is emerged. The show's the star first joined the ITV show in 2022 and has been at the center of many big storylines. It is now being reported that the actor will depart on screens later this year and is due to film her final scenes in the role later in October. Dee Dee's big focus this year has been a baby storyline after she gave birth to Layla earlier in 2025, with the soap exploring the topic of racial injustice in maternity care. In it, the character underwent an emergency hysterectomy amid complications. She later faced a difficult choice over whether to give the baby to brother James. Although she initially agreed to let her sibling raise the girl, she eventually changed her mind. The pair later agreed to a co-parenting situation. Dee Dee has become a fan favourite character since her debut a few years ago, so many viewers will be no doubt sad to see her go. Speaking back in July, she said, "I'd love to see more of the world, I'd love to learn to play a musical instrument, and I'd love to live abroad or something. Even if it's just for a short while, it would be great to play somewhere new. And I'd also love to play Lady Macbeth." Star also admitted it would be great to play a villain and to do something completely different. "I love Coronation Street. It's a wonderful place to work. A wonderful place to work and such a pinch-me defining part of my career," she continued. "It's changed my life and I've learnt so much, but I'm still young and it's such a big industry. I'd love to try out different characters one day." And obviously this week, we did see Jenny's exit, which was a bittersweet one, but also it reminded us how little Jenny has actively been used pretty much since the whole, since Johnny kind of died. Feels like Jenny's just been, she was the sounding board for Daisy, and unfortunately when Daisy was gone, it felt like Jenny wasn't going to last much longer either. So nothing too large for this one. We did just finish recording the podcast, so yeah. So I think it's a sad one for Dee Dee to be leaving. I do think she's been one of the recent success stories, and I think she has done a really good job in the role she's been given. She's kind of been hard done by as she was involved in the Joel storyline, but I think fundamentally she proved her stripes. She is a very talented actress, and she very clearly wants to do something else. She's only 28. So she also has made the kind of fairly reasonable stance of, hey, basically, it's kind of, I'm calling it the Richard Blackwood rule, where in soap you want to stay for 4 years max. And if you stay any longer than 4 years, you are typecast as that character perpetually. So you kind of leave around that 3 to 4 year mark, and you try and leave whilst your prospects are high, and you've proven that you are committed to be a solid actor in whatever role you're given. But it just seems like Shanique Sterling Brown just wanted to do something else. And I don't blame her, because it has been quite gloomy for Dee Dee. She's not really had her happy ending as such, so you can't really blame it. And it's probably the right time for the character to go before they because what it felt like they were settling her down for is it felt like they were going to pit Dee Dee and Daniel together. And Daniel has essentially become something of a Black Widow in terms of romances, where he gets with Sinead, who dies. He gets with Bethany, and he gets with Daisy, who's left, and Bethany, who did leave. It's kind of just, yeah, he is a something of a Black Widow. But yeah, I think it's sad. I do think I like Dee Dee a lot. I think she encapsulated the role. The one thing I kind of want to put a spotlight on is I'm kind of worried for the Baileys, because Dee Dee is the star role in that family. Michael's solid, a safe pair of hands. James Bailey is kind of fresh-faced and, in a sense, brand new, only really starting to find his feet as a character. But Dee Dee was the star power, you know? She was the one who was leading the story. So I'm kind of worried that without Dee Dee there, I feel like the Baileys will fall down even deeper. And considering Ed, James, and Michael are the only real people, I don't know, maybe it's time to recast, or at least figure out the situation with Aggie. Or just generally, you're probably going to need another character in there, or at least a kind of refresher of Michael and Ed and James fundamentally. So I'm kind of worried for it. I know that the Baileys have been something of a laughing stock of a family, as they never really took shape. But I do think that they've gotten a decent chunk of focus over the last couple of years. That I like Ed, and I like Michael, and I like James, and I like Dee Dee, and I think the family is actually quite successful, all things considered. But you are at the stage where you are kind of running amok, and you're running out of the, as said before, the star power. And I know Dee Dee probably wasn't the most liked because she was an outspoken woman, and maybe she was given a lot more storylines than people felt she deserved, especially within the new direction, perhaps at the behest of a lot of the other characters. I can understand why people would be particularly upset with this, but also fundamentally, I'm not going to complain too much. I like this family. I enjoy them. And yeah, I don't know. I just kind of, it feels very, it's a shame, but it's probably the right time for her to leave. And I think she's probably going to make the right decision. Do I necessarily think she's going to get a huge defining role through this? Not particularly. I can't lie. I don't think she's going to, I don't think we're going to suddenly see her start doing everything. I don't think she's going to become a huge piece in any real big puzzle, but I don't blame someone for establishing themselves very well in the, establishing themselves in the TV world, realizing that there is a great prospect here, and now she can probably go traveling and do what she's doing, because at the end of the day, most soap actors go from being paid very minimal to actually getting a fairly decent paycheck. So, you could be high 5 figures, kind of mid to low 6 figures as a newcomer, because you get paid a flat fee per episode. And this can really set you up for a lot of time, and kind of, if you get a couple of years with this sort of pay under you, you then get the option to live a little bit more comfortably, or invest your money in something else and kind of get this passive income. So I don't blame them. I simply don't blame people for realizing, hey, you've been a fantastic servant to the show. Now it's time to explore all the things you couldn't do before as a struggling actor. All the power to Shanique Sterling Brown. I would love to see her back eventually, with a slightly older Layla, and perhaps with the family to kind of rebuild the Baileys in a great period of time. I don't know. I think she's done a good job. I think she had a great chemistry with everyone she worked with. I think they definitely refined the character through time. At the start, she was this clumsy kind of person, and she still kind of is, but it definitely became a much more serious character, which I think the actor sincerely, or the actress sincerely deserved. So, thank you, Shanique Sterling Brown, for 3 very solid years as Dee Dee Bailey. We appreciate you, we respect you, and we wish you the best of luck in whatever you do next. I feel a little worried for the Baileys as a family without her presence, but I mean, they kind of instilled a lot of belief in said family, so perhaps they won't get forgotten under the new producer. So yeah. Anyways, I've been Ash from Watching Walford. This has been a bit more low effort. It was after a long-ass podcast, so thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.